New Year's Day. Happy New Year. This is my hope for humanity. May we all assume the role of the faith keeper. Thanks to David Gelfand for sharing. In many Native American traditions, one member of the tribe will assume the role of the faith keeper. The role of the faith keeper is to remain peaceful and calm while maintaining spiritual enlightenment and understanding, no matter what the tribe may endure. Under extreme conditions, if every single tribe member stumbles into fear, doubt, anxiety, worry, and pain, the faith keeper maintains peace, spirituality, and understanding. Therefore, the faith keeper is looked upon as the mainstay to the I Am presence of God, Great Spirit, or Creator. Lay out a welcome mat for confusion in difficult times, and remember that seemingly chaos in the outside world is the perfect opportunity to go within and practice your inner faith. So me, Happy New Year.
January 8th. Sign off the branch we are sitting on. Sometimes we want things to go back to normal, that we are sawing off the branch we're sitting on. This is a phrase I love that Prem Robot said around 48 years ago. Last Thanksgiving, just a few months ago, I saw on the news that over 100 million Americans were planning to have Thanksgiving with their loved ones. The airports were packed. The same scenario occurred for Christmas and New Year. A few days ago, we had the largest surge since the beginning. Over 1 million people got the virus in one day. Just think if that occurred every day, the entire population could be affected in just 1 year, give or take. Many of us have lost the sense of wisdom and being practical. This virus will morph and change as time goes on. It doesn't care about your political point of view. It doesn't matter what side of the spectrum you are on. It has a mind of its own. We need to stop and reflect on the actions that we take. Unfortunately, it affects us all. We are, we are all a piece of the puzzle we are sitting on. We can either rise to the occasion or see the next round that will change and morph into. Each one of us is responsible for millions around us. We are not separate. February 9th, 2022. Computers can be so damn frustrating. Computers can be so damn frustrating. Have you ever had a day where you shouldn't have gotten out of bed? Yesterday was one of those days. I was having a meeting with my business partner, Guy. We were doing a program called magicrings.org. He saw that I spelled Mullen, Mullin, as Mullen. Anyway, to make a long story short, I accidentally deleted my slides table. I'm using MS SQL Express. Just think for the past 30 years, once you say delete, it deletes with no questions asked. Once you press that button to execute that code, it's gone. I thought this was going to execute delete from slides where ID is greater than 3669. Instead, this got executed, deleted from slides. I thought I highlighted the where clause. You would think by now there could be a rollback function. I had a friend who accidentally deleted the Schwab ID table in production. The system was down for a while before people could use it again. I'm positive this is probably a daily nightmare that occurs anywhere in the world. About a year ago, I thought that I could back up my data daily. I found out MS SQL Express doesn't handle that functionality automatically. February 13th, 2022. Science and meditation. As many of you know, my twin brother and I love to meditate. It's built into our genes. We also love to research many different things in life. 50 years ago, I dreamed of assisting in some way researching the bridge between meditation and science. Since then, thousands of research documents have come out. Recently, I saw a live feed with Joe Dispenza and the research scientists at the University of San Diego. Wow, I was blown away at the sophistication. We have come so far in just 50 years. Here's the link. I sent an email to the chief scientist explaining my background. This was about a month ago. I sent out the email, not expecting a response. Last Monday, I received an email from Himmel, and he wanted to do a Zoom interview with me and my brother. We had an amazing conversation. We are on the same wavelength. Anyway, Himmel said he would love to have my brother and I assist in helping in his research by finding different meditation groups that are out there. The first stage would be to gather people during COVID to give away saliva, urine, and other samples. A test kit would be mailed to each participant. Note, this is in the infinite stage, but we'll be wrapping up soon. I'm asking assistance for all my friends who meditate. We can slowly change this world one drop after another. 50 years ago, I was considered a commie because I meditated and did yoga. 50 years later, it's in the mainstream culture. Himmel told me it's very hard to find people to participate in research projects. I'm hoping that my friends will participate. This research will involve many different groups. We are all united through the thread of love. We must rejoice in the different diversities, at the same time realize the thread that is tying us all together. This link explains the latest findings. If you are interested, please message me or send me an email at richardpfletcher@gmail.com. We can slowly change the world. The more research is done on this and comes into the mainstream, the faster the world can change. Even if you don't meditate, you're welcome to participate. Your findings can be used as a benchmark. February 26, 2020. War. Billions of people are witnessing the slaughter in Ukraine. Can you imagine your world changing forever during your sleep? You wake up in the morning and have to run to the bomb shelter. An invasion like this hasn't happened since World War II. Where does this insanity go? What country is he going to strike next? Sanctions unfortunately hardly ever work. Yes, the common person gets affected, but Putin won't. We can't send in NATO. If we do, we start another world war. I'm going to keep this short. This is from CBS News. As Russia began its full-scale invasion later Wednesday, Trump told Fox News that this all happened because of a rigged election. At a Mar-a-Lago fundraiser Wednesday evening, he continued his praise of Putin, calling him pretty smart in taking over a country for $2 worth of sanctions. War is insane. Only you and I can stop this craziness. It just takes one person in power to bring total chaos to a country. They are being attacked by three sides. No wonder the president of Ukraine is asking for assistance from the world. His country is violently being destroyed. February 28th, 2022. I need ammunition, not a ride. This is from CNN. Ukrainian President Zelensky has turned down an offer from the United States of evacuation from the capital city, Kiev. The Ukraine ambassador in Britain said Saturday on Twitter, "The fight is here. I need ammunition, not a ride," Zelensky told the United States, according to the embassy. Zelensky remains a prime target for Russian aggression, U.S. State Department spokesman Ned Price said Thursday evening amid Russia's invasion of Ukraine. It echoed Zelensky's own words that his intelligence said he has become a key target. According to our information, the enemy marked me as target number one. My family as target number two, Zelensky said Thursday. They want to destroy Ukraine politically by destroying the head of state. We have information that enemy sabotage groups have entered Kiev. I have nothing but respect for this man.
August 30th, 2022. Corn. My dear friend Paul Cohen sent me this article yesterday. It was extremely fascinating how corn made its way into just about everything we eat. By Roberto A. Ferdinand from the Washington Post. Here's an excerpt from his article. Today, the United States is the largest producer and consumer of corn, and by a long shot. Corn is in the sodas Americans drink and the potato chips they snack on. It's in hamburgers and French fries, sauces and salad dressings, baked goods, breakfast cereals, virtually all poetry, and even most fish. The grains is so ubiquitous that it would take longer to list the foods that contain traces of it than to pinpoint the ones that don't. Our entire diet has been colonized by this one plant, Michael Pullman told National Public Radio in 2003. I find it fascinating that ignorance is sawing off the branch that we are sitting on, yet we aren't even aware of it. Take, for example, corn. Corn has been used by indigenous people all around the world for thousands of years. It is a sacred crop. Many of these cultures say that corn came from the star cluster, the Pleiades. Corn is sacred. These cultures try as much as they can to be in harmony with the earth and the universe. They believe they are custodians of the land. Fast forward to today. Did you know there's hardly any processed foods in the market that does not contain corn? Corn is in almost everything that you eat. Even the chicken, turkey, and hamburgers that you eat, the primary food given to these animals is corn. Mind you, this is not the corn of yesterday. It is GMO and altered so radically that you could almost not call it corn. This corn causes havoc in the body. Many scientists today say that high insulin causes the majority of diseases we see today. Unbeknownst to us, corn is the hidden sugar in the foods that we eat. A person who eats processed foods over time will lead to the diseases in the end. There's an epidemic going on, and yet we are merely going on our way. You are what you eat. I heard this expression over 50 years ago. It seems more apropos than ever before. Just think, some countries have more diabetics than the United States has. It's an epidemic that is beyond our understanding at this time. Just look at this logically. If you're eating almost every day, every bite of food that has been genetically modified and high in sugar, don't you think that would affect your human body? My dear friend Paul says that this one most definitely probably changes and alters one's DNA. In the last 20 years, the field of studying the microbiome in the gut has been researched. They have found that the foods you eat determine your microbiome. Now, this is where things get interesting. According to the health of your microbiome, there's a direct relationship to your thoughts and emotions. I saw this firsthand before my left pinky toe had to be amputated. To be honest, I had a sweet tooth. Imagine my microbiome in my gut was not in harmony. When one has too much sugar in the body, the microbiome in the gut will send signals to the brain desiring more sugar. This is one reason why they say diabetics can never be healed. Many people say it's too difficult to control your thoughts, feelings, and emotions about food. They say it takes about 3 weeks to establish a habit. I changed my diet considerably. I saw slowly over the 3 weeks my mind was getting clear. I don't have the urges and impulses to eat sugar. Why did this happen? Well, once your microbiome in your gut starts to change, your emotion, thoughts, and feelings, they begin to change for the better. Many scientists call the microbiome the second brain. You might call it your intuition or the gateway to your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is running the show whether you like it or not. Over 80% of your actions come from your subconscious mind. One can learn, just like a computer programmer, how to program the subconscious mind for the better. At times, I see it as so insidious and hideous, the trap that we are in. At times, it looks like there's no way out of it. Who would have wondered why corn is so predominant in the world today? It is the largest crop in the world, and it seems to be taken over day by day. It's almost like corn has a mind of its own. To me, it's almost like Pandora's box. Once it was taken out of the hands of the indigenous people and handed to Western technology, the beast was set loose. I know that may sound strange, but our understanding of what's going on is just beginning to surface. I'm not going to call it a conspiracy, but I will call it motivated by big business to hook the world at large addicted to sugar. These companies made these products to get you to be addicted to them. Why? Because you will buy them again. Our world at large is based on consumerism. The indigenous people was based upon being conscious of the land. I find it ironic that we call them savages. In my eyes, who is the real savage? One culture that is trying to protect and be custodians of the land. The other culture represents stripping, taking, and stealing from the land. One who thinks the land belongs to them. One who's constantly fighting over land between one and another. One who's taking precious resources and polluting the earth, water, and the air that we breathe. We are so blasé by this. It goes in one ear and out the other ear. The older I get, I see that if society is not in balance and harmony, it will do considerable damage to the earth and the species upon the earth. They will call this process normal. When one gets to see the signposts all around them, they slowly begin to change for the better. All indigenous cultures say to be in harmony with the mind, body, and soul. They say to be in harmony with the earth and the universe, the world at large. Scoffs at these ideas. They are airy-fairy. Now imagine your second brain is not firing properly. This leads to faulty thinking, being, and acting in your everyday life. Your addiction controls you without you even being aware of it. Your subconscious mind is dictating your life without you even being aware of it. This seems to me like a game right out of the Matrix. Now, I'm not saying the movie Matrix is real, but of my personal experience, life is like a video game. We think this game of life is so real. Everything we do and see is based externally. It's almost like everything is stacked against us. Many people beginning to wake up from their slumber. Many people are consciously striving to peel the onion within us. We are going literally from darkness to light. We're going from me to we. People laugh when I say this. What a fool you are. I was talking to my brother John a few days ago, and we were discussing this. And John was saying that people here, when people have this attitude, and yet the moment they die, in less than a second, they go from me to we. Everything goes back to the quantum field. I mean, everything. So the mystics of old were talking about the same thing as today. The same problems we face today are the same problems that existed for thousands of years. Mystics say the hardest thing to control in the entire universe is your mind. Maybe it's about time to learn a few tricks of the trade to make your life easier. When a society does not see that the subconscious mind is running the show, great darkness comes upon the life. There must be a balance between the conscious mind and the unconscious mind. The world at large needs to be in balance and harmony. I can see why the Taoists of the old talk about so much about harmony and balance. I never understood this so much until now. Even in my own life, I see the repercussions of not being in harmony and balance. I thought I was, and yet I had a great lesson to learn. September 22nd, 2022. Karma. This was an absolutely incredible session on karma. It was probably the most simplest and practical solution that I've ever heard. She was amazing in her presentation. Karma has always been somewhat of a mystery to me. I never knew exactly what it was and the mechanics of how it operated. Yes, I know the theory: for every action, there is an opposite and equal reaction. I know about good karma and bad karma. But the process to stop karma in its tracks and eliminate karma is another subject altogether. Mind you, I've been studying this for over 50 years now. This presentation gave me more incredible insight into karma and how it works. The teacher gave a great analogy. Suppose you have a ball that you are bouncing. Imagine every action you take, you are bouncing the ball. You take an action and you bounce the ball. Automatically, whether you like it or not, the ball will bounce back. That statement alone is incredible, that you are responsible for the bouncing of the ball. Nobody else bounces your ball. She goes on and says that the bouncing of the ball has been occurring for thousands of years. We are on a treadmill that isn't going anywhere. To stop this, she simply said, stop bouncing the ball. When one stops bouncing the ball doesn't react. When you stop bouncing the ball, it will take a very short time for the ball just to sit on the ground and do nothing. I also like the fact that she said karma is not conscious and aware. If it was, we would be in serious trouble because we would have a God that judges us for every action we take. Fortunately, karma, the ball, is not awake, and it's just simply a force of the universe that can be overcome in one's life. The goal is to stop bouncing the ball, at the same time be in a state of self-realization within. I give the analogy of being in the center of a hurricane. Humanity is living like leaves blowing in the wind. Karma is chains that binds us. It doesn't matter if the chains are made of gold or some simple mental material. Either way, the chain will bind us. The more one stops bouncing the ball, the greater the realizations will be. One will live in the center of the hurricane and understand the great mysteries of life. When one learns to live in the soul, one truly becomes a human being. We were never taught this in our schools. Maybe the Jains have, but we most definitely didn't learn that. This course has made me more subtle in my practice. It truly is fine-tuning the guitar of life. Every action we take, karma has taken place, and yet we are oblivious to it. We strive for happiness in our life. We think a good job, a mansion, and a yacht are the secrets to a good life. We never realize that even by acquiring these, we still have golden chains bound to our souls. Ultimately, that will never make us happy. I'm quite impressed by the Jains who discovered this thousands of years ago. Can you imagine coming up with this great realization and then put it into such sublime words? Future generations could use the roadmap for their own liberation. I find that extremely daunting and incredible to see. We can learn from the wise men of the past. Unfortunately, we are so blinded that we truly can't believe something like this even exists. Every day we moan and groan about the circumstances in our life. We don't realize that we are responsible for what comes our way. Curveballs will be thrown at you. That is the fact of life. Everything morphs and changes. I mean, everything. When one understands that life is like a merry-go-round, it goes round and round and round. When a person gets tired of this ride, he wants to get off the ride. The only way to get off this ride is to press the red button inside of you and stop the merry-go-round inside of you. When one leaves the merry-go-round, one lives in his true essence. You are the universe and you just don't know it. We live our lives thinking this is the ultimate reality. We are merely skimming the surface of the ocean of life. This may seem like an esoteric subject, which it isn't. This is the basic foundation of your life. We're talking about you and how you can understand your true nature. The wise men of old have studied this for thousands of years. They have great instruction manuals for you to read and implement in your life. What good is a driver's manual if you never drive your car? You have a car that's been sitting in your inner garage. The garage door is closed. The car is full of cobwebs and spider webs. One may have faint glimpses of the car exists inside. The goal of human life is to take that car out for a spin on the freeway of life. You were meant to drive that precious car. That car is your true existence. That freedom that you seek, that happiness that you seek, that joy that you seek, it all lies inside of you. That car is who you truly are. One has become so identified externally that we have forgotten our true nature. I would highly advise, if you want to have a happy life, to try this in your life. Maybe the next time some instance comes your way and you could get angry about the situation, just hesitate and don't react at all. Practice that over and over again. You will see the situation no longer bothers you at all. In fact, by not responding at all, you remain calm. Calmness is your true nature. Getting flustered and angry is not your true nature. Even if something good comes your way, do the same thing. You will see that you are then driven by your emotions and mind. When you experience positive emotions, life is good. When you experience negative emotions, life is a drag and a burden. We live our entire lives this way. We blame others for our mistakes. We think that we have done something wrong. We think other people's lives are better than ours. We have all these different feelings about how life is treating us. We could get off on this bandwagon and experience life as it truly is. Life is absolutely incredible. Life is full of joy, love, and creativity. We should be like a surfer taken off on the wave of a lifetime. One is in the zone. One is not thinking about making the wave or wiping out. A surfer is in the flow with the wave of life and becomes one with it. He knows he doesn't have to do fancy tricks or try to outmaneuver the wave. He doesn't get into the contest of life and see who's the better surfer. I lost this heat by less than 1 point. He doesn't get into the competition side of surfing. Surfing is an art and allows one to be in harmony with the universe and nature. We are all surfers. That wave exists inside of you. You can learn how to surf the wave and be in clarity every moment in your life. One who learns how not to react to any given situation is truly a wise man. A wise man simply smiles at life. It has nothing to say or prove. Unfortunately, we have plenty to say and prove. If someone doesn't think the way we do, well, let them have it. We will tell them they're wrong and I am right. My religion is better than your religion. My ideas are better than your ideas. Wars have been started this way. When one lives in the scattered winds of the mind, chaos occurs. We have seen this going on for thousands of years with no end in sight. To make this world a better place, you must make your inner world a better place. For peace on earth to occur, you must establish peace inside of you. There is a battle going on inside of you. The mind is constantly biting you. It's like a mosquito bite. It gets agitated over and over again. At times the mosquito bites seems to go away. And then, for some unknown reason, they start biting you again. You itch and can't quite find out how to stop the itching. I remember for around 20 years, even when I first started meditating, my stomach was never truly settled. It always had a tinge of anxiousness to it. Meditation makes one aware of your inner feelings. Yet one day I woke up and it never came back again. Meditation and contemplation is the way to remove issues that have been hiding inside of us. Each one of us has different issues to deal with. Each one of us has different karmas that affect us. For your own mental happiness, I hope maybe you might take this to heart. You might see that externally, if I paid focus only to that, I will not change for the better. I will continue to go on this merry-go-round. Granted, you may obtain all the goals that you want externally. You may have all the money in the world. You may be able to travel whenever you want, and for as long as you want. But tell me, does that make you truly satisfied? Only a wise man who has conquered his mind will be truly satisfied. The only one who discovers how to live in the center of the hurricane is satisfied. You can own the entire world, yet you are still living like leaves blowing in the wind. Alexander the Great conquered much of the world, yet he was completely unsatisfied. He even said, I come into this world empty-handed, and I'll leave on my deathbed empty-handed. I say the spiritual path is the most practical path. One must have his feet on the ground and his head in heaven. We could go on forever bouncing the ball of karma. We've been doing this for eons as it is. We have the opportunity for this message to truly sink in, and at the same time to go in one ear and out the other. The mind can say, you don't want this. You like life as it is, and you don't want to change at all. Well, that's okay. We're not here to change you. You must change yourself. All we're doing is saying, There is a road that you can travel on inside of you. You are born a traveler. Currently, you are a wanderer that doesn't even know that he has a true home. We wander aimlessly in this world. We are searching for something external, and all we have to do is look inside for the answer. It's as simple as that. Somehow we think the spiritual life is for those who have high intelligence. My intelligence is average. I couldn't even answer one single question during this Jane lecture series. But did that stop me? No, it didn't. I knew the next day when I got up, if I went over the material and wrote what I discovered, I would understand what they were talking about. This path is a path meant to be pondered over. One must contemplate and ponder over life to understand life. The chains have been on us for thousands of years. Even in my early days of meditation, I didn't understand the true meaning of pondering. I don't understand the importance of why one should ponder. I see these young, incredible kids presenting short introductions to each class. Some are only 10 years old and already have great wisdom. You are the company that you keep. These kids have incredible mentors like their parents and grandparents. They have their aunts and uncles and friends. When I was in India, I heard many stories in which they said, "You are the company that you keep." If you keep company with a band of people that love to steal items from others, then you will become a thief. We emulate our external surroundings. I grew up in Newport Beach, California, and the culture around me was high class and refined. The people there are great, and I love growing up. I still have many of my friends today, yet somehow I knew that it's something inside of me that I could not tap into externally. I must admit, I'm not conventional at all. At times I am an outcast. I bucked the system. I knew that no matter how incredible in my life was up to that point, there is something inside of me that was so much more than I can ever imagine. I knew there were 5 senses. We lived that way our entire lives. Yet I knew we had 5 internal senses. These are doorways to the soul. Going back to the bouncing ball, the deeper one understands his true nature, the easier it will be to stop bouncing the ball. Even if one doesn't have a great meditation practice, one can learn to consciously stop the urge to react. Yes, this will take practice. Rome was not built in a day. It must go from your conscious to your subconscious. Currently, 95% of your subconscious is running the show. Yet, you can overcome this by your will. They say a wise man sets his mind in motion by his will, not the other way around. We live our lives with the mind commanding us what to do. We are not in command of our minds. That is a major difference. The Jains are incredible psychologists, and we are barely skimming the surface. The majority of our minds are unclear and experience so much internal stress and chaos. We had not been trained on how to have a healthy mind. Yet unfortunately, we think there's nothing wrong with me. I love my lifestyle and what I can do. Look at my life. No matter how much glamour and glitter one has, one must understand that the jewel exists inside of you. There's a video game going on. You are part of this game. There's an infinite amount of levels to go through. For thousands of years, we've just been on level 0. This is the most basic level where mankind fights with one another. We have slogans like the 80s where Wall Street would say, greed is good. We have mass shootings at schools. We refuse to have gun laws because it takes away our freedom. I could go on and on. We are responsible for the world externally. We can make this world a better place. A wise man understands that he can stop karma in his tracks. By doing so, he fulfills his piece of the puzzle in life. You can do this if you like. Our world would be in a better place if we all simply did this in each and every moment of our lives. Our lives would be so much richer and grander than our current state of existence. We can truly solve all the world's problems. Can you imagine if you discovered your true secret? The universe could provide answers to all our problems in life. We would not have junk food industry, which is causing disaster in our bodies all around the world. I find it amusing that they know their food makes people addicted, and yet they still do it because it makes them great wealth. No wonder they call this the age of darkness. Common sense is uncommon. Going back to karma again, I would like to thank the teacher for presenting such an awesome subject in a way that I could truly understand. She made it so practical at the same time I could understand what I can do practically to stop karma in my tracks. I apologize to anyone if I said anything that may contain misinformation. September 27th, 2022. In plain English, my consumption of sugar has dropped around 95% in the last 5 months. Yesterday, I had my teeth cleaned, and lo and behold, there was no plaque buildup. This was the first time in over 50 years. There are practical ways for the body to heal itself. Cookie, rest in peace. My dear friend Cookie, aka Kathleen Cook, passed away. I just found out on Facebook yesterday from Joan Apter. We met over 50 years ago in India when I was just a kid, 18 years old. We had quite a lot of adventures back then. I call that part of my life the travels with the girls. Those early days of my life set the foundation for the rest of my life. Cookie and I have remained great friends ever since we first met each other. She also loved to meditate. She had this incredible laugh and giggle which became part of her nature. People loved Cookie, and Cookie loved them. She was a rare soul. At times she would tell me it was like being a stranger in a strange land. She had her feet on the ground and her head in heaven. Cookie was kind and had a great sense of humor. She also knew the current world's events and had her opinions of them. Most of her opinions, I 100% agreed with them. She was practical. Her practice was kindness in action. When you meditate for a certain amount of time, your understanding of life changes for the better. She knew it was a miracle she was still alive. The last time I spoke to her was about a month ago. I've been trying to do a talk story with her, and yet somehow I knew it wouldn't happen. I knew she was extremely sick. The best thing was just to listen to her and support her. Cookie told me when she passed away, "Don't mourn for me. I am going home to my beloved from where I came. She is in wonderful hands."